This lesson is continuation for lesson 6.1.2, problem 6-19b. Just in case if you needed help, a little more help with the long division. Follow the directions below and write each of the following fractions as decimals. So there's two parts. I see 23 divided by 8, and I also see 18 divided by 25. First, estimate the size of each number by marking its place on a number line. Write the division problem that the fraction could represent. And lastly, use long division to find the decimal representation. How close were you estimates? Okay, so let's write our problem I, in our notebook. 23 divided by 8. So 23 over 8 means 23 divided by 8, and that's how I said it. So if I'm counting by 8s and I'm looking, I know how to count by looking at the denominator or the divisor. So if I'm going to be placing it on a number line as my first bullet, I need to be counting by 8s. So I'm gonna draw, so I'm doing my estimate. So I'm going to say from here to here, that's 8. Then the next one is 16. So I really want to count by 8 until I get to 23 and see what that means. So the next one is 24 plus another 8. So what would that number be? Okay, 32. And I'm already passing it, so I should probably stop. So how many 8s are there into 23? So somewhere here, 23 divided by 8. So this is 1, 2, and then 23 is right before here. So there are, my answer will be less than 3 groups of 8, because 3 is right over here, and then 23 is the red dot. So my estimation, my answer is about, let's say 2.8, and I'm going to use wavy lines. So that's an estimation symbol. Okay, now it says write it as a division problem, which I did. So I'm just double checking with the little bullets. And then last one says use long division to find the decimal representation. Okay, I will continue with the long division. What we want to do is make sure we're setting up the long division correctly. And my first number is 23, which means we have 23. If it was the licorice problem, we have 23 pieces of licorice, and the whole number stops after the 3. So what you want to do is make sure you can see where the decimal or the whole number separates with the parts. And after that, I can add zeros for free, as many zeros as I need. My estimate was about that. So and definitely I want to divide now by 8. Now 8 does not go into 2, so on top of the 2 I'm putting a place value of 0, and I'm not going to multiply. I'm just going to use the numbers together as 23. So how many times does 8 go into 23? And I did my pattern by 8s here, so only 2 times. And then, so 2 times 8 is 16. So right now we are supposed to subtract and get the remainder, the difference between 16 and the 23 over there in the number line. Okay, as I'm subtracting and working ahead, the remainder is 7. And I see the decimal point, which I'm going to place back on top in the same location. Then I'm going to bring down one number at a time. So think of we're using freeway lines, except those are lines for keeping track of the numbers and the place value. Now we have the number 70, and in patterns of 8, I know that 10 times 8 is 80. So if I take away 8, I will get to 72. That means 9 times 8 is 72. That's still so high. I mean, little high, not so high. So that means 8 times 8 will be my choice to try. So 64, 8 times 8. So I'm going to place the 8 right above that number line we're talking about, place value line. And then I'm going to go 8 times 8, and I'm going to record here 64. Go ahead and continue and you want to do at least one more. You want to do your 64 here, subtract, start over by bringing this. And then remember the third bullet said to look at your estimation. So I'm pretty spot on with my estimation, but I don't have my place of the hundreds yet. So that's what I want you to do next. Okay, in my notebook, I wrote the next problem from B is this time 18 divided by 25. So I'd like to get you started. Remember they said to estimate, but first I want to write it as the meaning of long division. So right now, the first number is 18 and then divided by 25. So it looks like my estimate will be, well, if I only have 18 licorices, but I have 25 students, nobody's gonna get one whole. So it's definitely, if I'm doing my number line and I want to count by 25s, the next number is 50 and on, 75, 100. So really the smallest number, if I had a 25, if everybody will get a whole. So right now I'm going to estimate from 0 to 1, and I'm supposed to divide it into 25 pieces, which I'm not, but I know that a half is about 12 and a half, so 18 is somewhere over here. So I might say as an estimate, I'm going to use the approximation, I'm going to say 0.7, okay? But we could now figure out by using the long division. So just the setup, start by writing the 18 is the starting. So how would you write that as 18 whole numbers? Remember, you need to use the decimal now. So 18 point and then 0, 0. Then separate freeway lines or decimal place value. And you want to have that decimal in the same location. And then divide by 25. So since I helped you with the start and I helped you with the estimate, go ahead and finish everything on your own. If you need more patterns of the 25 to see how long, you would continue over here. But practice your long division. Thank you for watching.